हरि ओम। ओ ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वतीपतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। we are seeing briefly the entire Bhagavad Gita, revising each and every chapter. So we have to understand the cause of all our sorrow and suffering and bondage in this samsara is due to ignorance of our own self, and that can be eliminated only through self-knowledge. So through self-knowledge, we have to remove ignorance and gain that abidance in our own self and become free of this samsara. In order to prepare our buddhi to gain this knowledge, we follow the path of Karma Yoga. Thereafter, approach the teacher and gain self-knowledge. Then renounce all karma and kartrutva bhavana. Do that karma sannyas and sincerely meditate and gain abidance in our own self. The self we should understand as not different from the self of all. The world which we see in front of us should also be assimilated in the self. So in 7th chapter, Bhagavan talks about the world as expression of his Prakriti, and Prakriti is not different from Ishvara. Ishvara is not different from Brahma, and that Brahma is our own self. In the 8th chapter, Bhagavan talked about the various gatis which one attains in this world. In the 9th chapter, again, Bhagavan talks about how he alone pervades this whole world. The world exists in him. And in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan showed the various vibhutis to Arjuna so that one can meditate on this vibhutis and recognize Ishvara in this world. And in the 11th chapter, Bhagavan showed his Vishvarupa to Arjuna. He showed that the whole world is his Rupa only. The whole world is the body of Ishvara. The whole world is the manifested expression of Ishvara. Now, in this 12th chapter, Arjuna asks a question, कि what is better? एवं सतत युक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरम अव्यक्तम तेषां के योगवित्तमाः. कि what is better? The one who is meditating on your manifest form, or those who are meditating on your unmanifest form? Who are the better knowers of upasana? So here in this 12th chapter, Bhagavan then describes the Vyakta Upasana as well as the Avyakta Upasana. See that Supreme Brahma, which is our own Supreme Self, is Avyakta, Nirgun, Nirakar, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And by its own power called Prakriti or Maya, manifests as this world and manifests as all the beings. So, Bhagwan or that Brahma alone first manifests as Hiranyagarbha at the subtle level, and then manifests as Vaishvanara, as the gross physical world. So Brahma is Nirguna, Nirakar. Ishvara is also Nirguna, Nirakar. Brahma, along with his Shakti called Maya, is indicated as Ishvara. So Ishvara is also Nirgun Nirakar. From Ishvara alone, first manifest Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is also indicated as Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar. Hiranyagarbha is Ishvara alone, who is expressing at the subtler level, along with his upadhi of samashti buddhi, samashti mana, samashti ahankar, samashti prana, and the tanmatras. Further, Hiranyagarbha expresses as Vaishvanara with the gross physical world, the Pancha Mahabhut, with samashti mana, buddhi, ahankar, samashti pranas. So Hiranyagarbha and Vaishvanara are Saguna, are also indicated as Sagun Ishvara, and Ishvara as Nirgun Nirakar. So one can meditate on Sagun Ishvara as well as Nirgun. So here Bhagwan Arjuna wants to know what is better. So Bhagwan says both the upasanas are good, they ultimately attain me only. कि मय्यावेश्य मनो ये माम नित्य युक्त उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्त तमामताः. And ये त्वक्षरम निर्देशम अव्यक्तम पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यञ्च कूटस्थम अचलम ध्रुवम सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. Those who meditate on my Vyakta Rupa, they attain me, and those who meditate on my Avyakta Rupa, they also attain me. But to meditate on Avyakta is more difficult for one who is attached to this body. So it is, for them it is better to meditate on my Vyakta, manifest form. They can meditate on me as Hiranyagarbha. They can meditate on me as Vaishvanara. Slowly they can identify with Vaishvanara, with Hiranyagarbha, and that will purify their antakarana and ultimately attain me. But those who have Vairagya, those who don't have so much attachment to their body, they can meditate on my unmanifest form. So Bhagavan says, Mayyeva mana adhasva mayi buddhim niveshaya niveshishyasi mayyeva ta urdhvam na samshayaha. You place your mind in me and you place your intellect in me, and ultimately you will attain me. If it is difficult to place your mind and intellect in me, then constantly practice, do abhyas. If abhyas is also difficult, then you perform action, dedicate those actions to me. With Nishkam Bhava, perform those actions and you will ultimately attain me. Thereafter, Bhagavan describes the Lakshana of a Jnani Bhakta. Beautiful descriptions are there in the 12th chapter. कि अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्र करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहंकारः समदुःख सुखक्षमी संतुष्ट सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः समे प्रियः. Such a devotee is very dear to me, one who doesn't hate anyone, one who is friendly with all the beings, one who has compassion towards all, one who is free from the sense of myness and I-ness, one who remains same in Sukha and Dukkha, one who has got a forgiving nature, one who remains content in all situations, one who is firm in his resolve to attain me. Such a devotee is very, very dear to me. Mayyarpita mano buddhihi, one who has placed their mind and intellect in me, are very dear to me. In this way, Bhagavan gives lot of lakshanas of Jnani Bhakta, and finally he says that even those who practice this lakshana sincerely, they are also very dear to me. Ye tu dharmyamritamidam yathoktam paryupasase shraddhadana mat paramaha bhaktaste ativa me priyaha. They are very dear to me. Thus, from the 7th chapter, Bhagavan revealed to Arjuna that this world which you see is not different from me. This world is not different from Ishvara. Ishvara is present in this world. Ishvara alone is expressing as the various forms with different names. And when we just focus our attention on the form, we see them constantly changing. We see them of a different nature. But with our understanding, when we penetrate these forms, we will be able to recognize the presence of Ishvara in this world. And that Ishvara is not different from our own self. So after indicating that this whole world is myself, now in this 13th chapter, Bhagavan tells Arjuna a very important point. Bhagavan says that idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidiyate etad yo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Hey Arjuna, what I had mentioned to you as Atma in the 2nd chapter, which is different from this gross body and the subtle body, that Antaratma is also called Kshetrajna. And that Kshetrajna is the knower, the witness of the gross body as well as the subtle body. So this body, physical body, as well as our subtle body, the mind, the intellect, the senses, etc., are all made up of matter, are all made up of Prakriti. And the knower of this Prakriti, the knower of the Kshetra is that Atma, which is also called Kshetrajna. So there are variety of bodies of different beings in this world. Right from Hiranyagarbha to Vaishvanara to all those Devatas and so many other beings who are residing in the other lokas. Also the variety of beings who are residing in this earth, on this earth, the plants, the animals, the birds, the various types of sea creatures, the microbes, the bacteria, the viruses, all of them are having different bodies, and in everybody there is a knower of that body residing in them. There is that Atma which is residing in the heart of all the beings. That Atma which knows the individual body is called Kshetrajna. So Kshetrajna is there in Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, in his Antakarana, he is the Kshetrajna who is knower of his own buddhi, who is the knower of his own mind, who is knower of his own body. Similarly, Kshetrajna is Vaishvanara, who knows his body. Similarly, in all the devatas everywhere. Similarly, in this body, I am the Kshetrajna who knows, who is the knower of my physical body as well as my subtle body. And Kshetrajna, the knower, is different from these bodies. So in the waking state also I know my body, in the dream also I know my bodies, and in deep sleep I remain alone, separated from both the bodies. That I, who is separate from both the bodies and knower of both the gross as well as subtle bodies, that I is called Kshetrajna. So Kshetrajna is present in all the bodies. And here Bhagavan then reveals कि क्षेत्रज्ञम चापि माम विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत, कि हे Arjuna, I have told you that the whole world is myself. The whole world is nothing but the bodies of different beings. But then Arjuna understand the Kshetrajna in all these bodies are also myself. The bodies are myself, means bodies, that is goes to make this world, is myself, and Kshetrajna are also myself. So Kshetrajna cha api means and also. Kshetrajna also you understand as myself. So this is a very important revelation, that the whole world is Ishvara and all the beings are also Ishvara, and I am not different from that Ishvara. And that Ishvara is that Sakshat Brahma. So the identity of Jiva, Ishvara and Jagat is revealed here. The Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara are all one, and all are Brahma. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. To understand this identity itself is to understand and realize the supreme truth. Only when we understand this, we will be experiencing that Advaita Tattva. We will attain the Kaivalya Avastha. No division, no duality will remain. So here Bhagavan further describes in detail the kshetra which goes to make this world. कि महाभूतान्यहंकारः बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च इंद्रियाणि दशैकञ्च पञ्च च इन्द्रियगोचराः इच्छा द्वेष सुखम दुःखम संघातश्चेतना धृतिः एतत् क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारम उदाहृतम्. Bhagavan says that all this is called kshetra. What are they? The pancha tanmatras, then the buddhi, samashti buddhi, then avvyakta, then the 10 indriyas, then the mana, then the pancha mahabhut, then the expression of various emotions in our mana buddhi, like ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, sanghata, chetana, dhriti, all of them, all these are called kshetra, and the knower of all this is kshetrajna, and the kshetrajna in all the bodies is Ishvara. That Ishvara is Brahma. So I, the kshetrajna, is Brahma. I am Brahma. This world is also myself. Ishvara is also myself. All the beings are myself. Everything is myself, and I am that Brahma. So that Kshetrajna has to be recognized as Brahma. I have to be recognized as Brahma. In order to make me recognize myself as Brahma, I have to purify my mind make it absolutely pure. And that has to be done by developing good values, positive values. So here in the following verses, Bhagwan talks about the 20 values which we have to inculcate in us so that we become fit to recognize ourselves as Brahma. What are those values? Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atma vinigrahah, indriyartheshu vairagyam, anahankare vacha, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, dukkha doshanudarshanam, asaktiranabhiswangah, putradaragrahadishu, nityancha samachittatvam, ishtanishtopapatishu, मयि चानन्य योगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेश सेवित्वम अरतिर्जन संसदि अध्यात्मज्ञान नित्यत्वम तत्वज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम. We have seen this elaborately, the 20 beautiful values which if we inculcate in us, we become fit to know ourselves as Brahma. Now we know ourselves as this body. Now we know ourselves as a limited being, knower, enjoyer, doer, experiencing the different joys and sorrows in this world. But when we cultivate these values and meditate on that Brahma, we will be able to recognize ourselves as Brahma. So the Kshetrajna is Brahma. That is also pointed out very vividly in various shlokas. Bhagavan says, Neyam yattat pravakshami yad jnatva amrutam ashnute. You should know this Neya, Brahma, as your own self. Then you will become free of all your bondage. Anadimat param brahma. It is anadimat param brahma na sattanna saduchyate. And in various shlokas, Bhagavan indicates that Kshetrajna as Brahma. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrutyaiva nirgunam gunabhoktrucha. So when we recognize ourselves as Brahma, we become free. But when we have this ignorance of our own self, then we falsely identify with our body, with our mind. That false identification is called adhyas. And due to this adhyas, we get stuck in this world. So this body, the mind, is expression of Prakriti only. So they are called Prakriti, and the Kshetrajna is also called Purusha. So Bhagavan says, Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakriti jan gunan. Karanam gunasangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. This Purusha, identified with this Prakriti, experiences the joys and sorrows expressed by the gunas of Prakriti and get bound, and is born again and again in different life forms. But one who recognizes this Purusha as Brahma becomes free. So, ya evam vetti purusham prakritincha gunais saha sarvatha vartamanopi sa nasa bhuyo bhijayate. One who recognizes this Purusha and recognizes this Prakriti as not different from me, the Purusha, the Supreme Purusha, me as Brahma, will become free. This can be done through dhyana. But if dhyana is not possible, then we should gain proper knowledge. If knowledge is not proper, then we should follow the path of Karma Yoga to purify our mind. So dhyane atmani pashyanti kechid atmanam atmana anne sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. So various sadhaks, through dhyana yoga, through sankhya, through karma yoga, they come to recognize their own self. So once one recognizes one's self as Brahma, then one sees that the self alone is present everywhere and everything exists in the self. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinasyasya vinasyantam yap pashyati sapashyati. He sees his own self in all and he sees everything in his own self. So, thus the beautiful knowledge was revealed in this 13th chapter, and the identity, the oneness of the self, that is Kshetrajna, the world, that is Kshetra, and Ishvara was revealed. That I am Brahma, world is Brahma, Ishvara is Brahma, everything is Brahma alone. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So I have to recognize my own self. In the state of ignorance, I identify with this Prakriti. Prakriti is made up of these three gunas. So I identify with the three gunas of Prakriti. That is what is said now in the 14th chapter. In the 14th chapter, Bhagavan talks about how these gunas bind the Purusha. So, not recognizing ourself properly, we get bound to this Prakriti. And when we recognize ourselves properly, we become free. So, Bhagavan says that Param Bhuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yad Jnatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. That I will tell you, reveal to you the supreme knowledge again. Ki idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralaye na vyatanti cha. One who gains this knowledge will not be born again and will not get disturbed by anything. So Bhagavan reveals that this his Prakriti, what is called Maya, or it is also called Mahad Brahma, is the very source of this entire creation. Mama yonir Mahad Brahma tasmin garbham dadhami aham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Bhagwan's Prakriti, what is called Maya, is the source of this entire creation. The whole world is always existing. Either it is manifest or it remains unmanifest, but it is always there. When it is unmanifest, when the pralaya happens, the whole world goes into unmanifestation and remains as Brahma. The Upanishads also reveal कि सदैव सौम्य idam agra asit, that this whole world in the beginning was existing just as Sat, as that Brahma. And from that Brahma alone, the world comes into existence, manifestation, when the Srishti takes place. So after a long period of pralay, then again the manifestation happens, and from that Brahma, with his Shakti called Maya, that Brahma is called an Ishvara. From that Ishvara manifest this world. And the first thing to manifest is Hiranyagarbha. The first Jiva to manifest is Hiranyagarbha. So Bhagwan's Prakriti is also called that Avyakrita, and in that Avyakrita Prakriti, it manifests as both the para as well as apara, and in that the first expression of the being happen as Hiranyagarbha. So when Hiranyagarbha is born, he has his body as the Pancha Tanmatras, he has his buddhi as the Samashti buddhi to total buddhi, and his mind, the total mind, and the pranas are there, and the total ahankar. So mana, buddhi, ahankar, pranas, and the pancha tanmatras are the body of Hiranyagarbha, and he expresses through this. Then Hiranyagarbha converts the pancha tanmatras into gross 5 elements through the process called Panchikaranam. So Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi, they were, when they exist independently, expressing their qualities independently as Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, they are called Tanmatras. And when this, the Panchikarana happens, this 5 Panchatanmatras becomes gross 5 elements: Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So the Akash has got the quality of sound, the Vayu will have the quality of sound as well as touch, Agni has got the quality of sound, touch and sight, the Jala Tattva has got quality of sound, touch, sight as well as taste, and then the Prithvi Tattva has got the quality of all 5: Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And when these 5 great elements are born, are created, then that is the body of Vaishvanara, then Vaishvanara is born, having these 5 great elements as his body and having his own mind, total intellect, total ahankar, and the pranas. Then Vaishvanara again further grossifies the 5 elements with the process called Trivrit Karanam. So with first Trivrit Karanam, the bodies of the Devatas are created and the Devatas start expressing through their bodies, the various Devatas. Thereafter again the Trivrit Karanam happens, is done by Vaishvanara, and the bodies of the plants are created. So many plants, jivas are born. Thereafter further the Trivrit Karana takes place and the bodies of other beings, animal, birds and human beings are created with their respective sense organs and their respective mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, etc. So the whole creation takes place. So from that Brahma, who is Ishvara alone, the entire creation happens. So if we as a human being, we have our gross physical body, we have the subtle body. So they are expressions of Bhagavan's Prakriti, and Bhagavan's Prakriti is Trigunatmika. And due to our ignorance, we identify with this Prakriti as our own self, and we have various types of desires in us, and those desires expressed through this Prakriti. So desires are Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Accordingly, those gunas gets expressed in the Prakriti and propel the different activities in us. So when we have sattvic desires, we what you call activate the sattvic prakriti, and when we have the sattvic desires, the desire is there for knowledge, and the sattvic desire also leads towards gives sukha. So the sattvic desires activate the sattvic prakriti, and that's sattvic prakriti, that is sattva guna, also binds us through sukha and jnana. Then rajoguna also binds us through karma and various activities. And the tamoguna also binds us through nidra, alas and pramad. So Bhagavan described the characteristics of all these each gunas separately, and also tells how they bind us. So sattva gun is nirmal, the rajogun is of the nature of activity, and tamogun is of the nature of lethargy. But all these three gunas, they bind. As long as we are ignorant, as long as we are identified with this prakriti, we remain bound. So rajogun binds through activity, tamogun binds through laziness, and sattvagun binds through making us attached to knowledge as well as to pleasures, sukha. So Bhagavan also described the interrelationship of these gunas. All these three gunas are interrelated. When one guna increases, the other two gunas goes down. So when the sattva gun rises, the tamogun and rajogun goes down. When tamogun rises, the rajogun and sattva guna goes down. So in this way, all these three gunas are related, connected to each other. Thereafter, Bhagavan also tells that what happens when a person dies, when a particular guna is predominant. So he says that when a sattva guna is predominant and the person leaves this body, he is born in a higher world, in a pure world. When the rajoguna is predominant and a person dies, he is born in those yonis which are attached to karma. And when the tamoguna is predominant and a person dies, he is born in a mudha yoni, in a lower life forms which are tamasic in nature. When a person is very rajasic, makes that person very active and gives rise to a lot of sorrow also. A person who is sattvic gives rise to sukha, and a person who is tamasic becomes more and more deluded and confused. So when we follow the path shown in our Shastra properly, right from the path of following the path of dharma, then karma yoga, upasana, and chitta shuddhi, jnana prapti, etc., we will be able to transcend these gunas and recognize our own self and become free. So Bhagavan says that nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhi gacchati. That a person who comes to understand that other than the gunas, there is no other karta, that I, the Atma, is not a karta. All activities are happening in Prakriti, and all activities are getting motivated by the gunas, which are propelled by our ignorance. So all activities are happening in the gunas only. Atma is not the doer. So when one discriminates and understands this deeply, नान्यम गुणेभ्य कर्तारम यदा दृष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परम वेत्ति मद भावम सोधिगच्छति. One comes to gain identity with that Ishvara. When one comes to understand that all activities are happening in gunas, guna guneshu vartante. The gunas which make our body interacts with the guna which has gone to make this world. The gunas which goes to make the sense organs, they interact with the gunas of the five elements. So in this way, one who understands the mechanism of these gunas, that all activities are happening in the field of the gunas. I, the Atma, is not the doer. I am neither the doer, nor the knower, nor the enjoyer. When one comes to recognize this, one becomes free. Gunan etan atityatrin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhehi vimukto amrutam ashnute. The person becomes free from all this bondage of this samsara, of janma, mrityu, jara, dukkhehi, of taking birth, dying, growing old, experiencing sorrows. This samsara bandhan, one becomes free of this samsara bandhan. Thereafter, Arjuna asked question to Bhagwan, कि what are the characteristics of those who have gone beyond these three gunas? Kair lingaihi trin gunan etan atito bhavati prabho kim achara katham chaitan trin gunan ativartate. That what are the characteristics of those who have gone beyond these three gunas? How do they function in this world? Kim acharah katham cha etan, and how did they go beyond these three gunas? So Bhagwan describes the characteristic of this gunatita. He says, prakashancha pravrittincha mohameva cha pandava na dveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. A gunatita person neither is attached to any gunas, nor does he dislike any gunas. If the sattva gun rises, he is not attached to sattva gun. If the tamogun rises or the rajogun rises in him, in this mind, he doesn't get attached to them. Na dveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. Nor does he desire that they should go away. He just looks at them objectively like a witness. Just as when we look up into the sky, we see the different play of the clouds. So we just look as a witness. We neither get attached to one type of cloud, nor we repel from another type of cloud. We just look at the play of the clouds remaining far away. Similarly, an enlightened person, a gunatita, he looks at all the play of these gunas arising in the antakarana. When the tamasic vritti arises, he just looks at them. When the sattvic arises or the rajasic, without getting attached or without disliking them, he remains. So udasinavad asinaha gunairyo na vichalyate guna vartanta itteva yo vatishtati nengate. remains totally udasinavat, disinterested, free from all engagement with the gunas, well established in his own self. He looks at the whole thing as a play of these gunas, not only in his body, but the play of his gunas he sees in this whole world. See, just as when you stand on the seashore, and you look at the waves, or you are standing on a rock in the sea, and you look at the waves around, they are dashing on the rock, playing havoc, but you remain steady on that rock, undisturbed, unmoved. Similarly, an enlightened person remains steady in his own self, looking at the play of the gunas happening in this world, in his body, in his antakarana. So udasinavad asinaha gunair yona vichalyate guna vartanta itteva yovatishtati ningate. Bhagavan further says, samadukha sukak swastah samaloštashma kanchanaha tulya priya priyodhiraha tulya nindatma samstutihi, remains saman in all situations. If dukkha comes, he remains unmoved. If sukha comes, remains unmoved. Looks at all the objects with the same vision. Samaloštashma kanchanaha, a stone is there, or a mud is there, or a gold is there. He looks at all of them as expressions of the Prakriti only, without getting attached to any of the objects, or without having any repulsion towards any objects. Unmoved, unattached, remains in this world. Tulya priya priyo dhiraha, among those who love him and among those who dislike him, he remains same, well balanced. There are those who criticize this enlightened master, there are those who do his stuti, but the master remains same, without getting disturbed by the praises of this world or the censures of this world, remains ever steady in his own state of enlightenment. Manapamanayo's tulyaha tulyo mitrari pakshayoho sarvarambha parityagi gunatitas uchyate, remains same in man and apaman, remains same among a friend as well as among enemies, has renounced everything, is called gunatita, one who has gone beyond the gunas and recognize the self. And once we recognize the self and gain that abidance in the self, everything gets absorbed in the self. Then nothing can disturb that self. Everything gets absorbed. But in a state of ignorance, everything, every little thing disturbs us. But when we gain that abidance in our Supreme Self, we become free of all disturbances. So how did this person attain this state of enlightenment? Bhagavan says, through that ananya bhakti. He says, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who worships me through that single pointed devotion, will be able to transcend his gunas and become one with me, attain that Brahma. See, it was said that Bhagwan is present in this world, and Bhagwan alone is the Kshetrajna in all. But the manifested world show a different characteristics, and Ishvara show a different characteristic. Ishvara is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. The world is constantly changing. So one has to transcend this world to recognize that Ishvara. And once Ishvara is recognized, everything gets absorbed in Ishvara. We come to understand ourselves as that supreme Brahma. Everything gets assimilated in us. Then there remains no Dvaita. So when there is no Dvaita, when there is no duality, there is no fear, there is no bondage, there is no sorrow, there is no pain. See, suppose I pick up some money from somebody else's pocket and keep it in my pocket without that person noticing it. Then what is it called? It is stealing. It is papa. But suppose I take money from my pocket and give it to some other person who puts it in his pocket. What is it called? It is called dana. But suppose I pick up money from my pocket, one pocket, and place it in another pocket. What is it called? It is neither stealing nor dana, because this pocket is also myself, belongs to me, and this pocket also belongs to me. So there is no papa and punya, there is no action, there is nothing happening. Similarly, as long as there is dvaita, duality, there is dharma, there is adharma, there is papa, there is punya. But when the whole world has become myself, when there remains no duality, there is no papa, there is no punya, there is no sukha, there is no dukkha, then there is no samsara. So enlightened person, for an enlightened person, everything has become his own self. Sarvam atmaiva bhut vijanataha. Everything has become his own self. So therefore Bhagwan says, कि ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम अमृतस्य अव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्य एकांतिकस्य च. That I am the very support of everything, of that immortality, of that changelessness, of that eternal dharma. Everything, I am the very substratum of everything. Recognize me and become free. So thus we have seen briefly the essence of the teaching in chapter 12, 13 and 14. In our next class, we will revise chapter 15, 16 and 17. Next class we will have on Monday. So tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday we will have Chutti, and we will have this class on Monday. We will revise the 3 chapters on Monday. Then we will revise the 18th chapter on Tuesday. And on Wednesday we will celebrate Shri Ram Navami and seek Bhagwan's blessings and conclude this Bhagavad Gita Jnana Yajna, the year-long Jnana Yajna of Bhagavad Gita. We will conclude with Shri Ram Navami Puja of Bhagwan. Okay? So we shall meet again on Monday. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and please take care of yourself. Follow all the precautions. If you go out, then use your mask and observe proper precaution. Take care of yourself and your surrounding and other people around you. And we shall meet again on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.